Funeral parlour owners are embarking on that strike in solidarity with smaller funeral parlours, we're told. Now, disgruntled owners say government legislation and big business are crowding out the funeral service space to exclude smaller operators. They're calling for an end to a tender system that they say doesn't in fact allow families to choose their preferred service providers. The shutdown means no corpses will be removed from homes or hospitals, and there'll in fact be no burials for the duration of the strike. Muzi Hlengwa is the president of the National Funeral Practitioners Association of South Africa, and in fact he joins us now live via video link from Durban. Muzi, thanks very much for your time and welcome to the AM report. Let's begin by understanding the nature of your concerns. What about the regulations in their current form is problematic?
Thank you very much. Good morning to you and the viewers at home. In fact, as far as the current legislation is concerned, not much that we are opposing. The only part that we are opposing is that they just added a law that says small parlours mustn't be allowed to outsource mortuary facilities. Whereas the government itself, it is outsourcing mortuary facilities as well as all private hospitals. Now we are saying if this is the law, then everybody must obey it. You know, the government must stop using private owned mortuary facilities, and all these private hospitals must again have their own private mortuaries.
Okay, so let's understand this a bit better then. Is the concern being directed to the state, as in government and the officials, or are you asking the big players in the industry to play ball here? Where exactly is the frustration being directed?
The frustration comes in both fronts. You know, the government is being used by some big guys in the industry to further I should say needs. You know, so it's not what the government law is saying. They are using the government to fulfill actually whatever they want to do. You know, the entry of old mutual in the industry and the entry of your Sanlams, all the insurance companies is a part of what we are complaining about. Because before, there were no laws such as the ones that we have now. Laws were just strictly for what they are designed for. The idea of the certificates of competency is to make sure that the health and safety regulations are upheld. We are fully in agreement with the existence of the COC as the industry, but all we are saying is that you cannot stop others who are trying to make a living using these laws.
Some people might look at today's planned protest as just an opportunity for the big players to gain even more traction, given the vacuum that you're going to be leaving essentially by not working today. What's your response to that?
There will be no gap, I promise you, because no one is working. Some of the grievances that we have, even some of the big guys want to be part of the strike. I'm telling you, AFBOP is closed nationwide, DAVS is closed nationwide, you know, so many of big guns are closing in support of this strike. So for now, we may say this has been a very successful and a peaceful strike so far. We are hoping that there are no parlours that will take chances now, go and open and try to sneak behind the closed doors and take what belongs to the industry. When we tool down, all of us must put our tools down, because this is not for us, this is for the industry, and it's for the entire country as well. You know, you have a situation whereby fraud and corruption has come to a level whereby it is intolerable in this industry. A funeral will have a quotation or an invoice with a red carpet costing 1.2 million. Now you tell me, as an ordinary
It appears we've lost our connection to Muzi there. Such a pity, because I think we're getting to the crux of the matter. Let's try and re-establish that connection, and hopefully we'll continue ventilating some of these issues as best as we can for you. Funerals can't be delayed in some respects, and so some of the pressing questions we want to put to Muzi is, what about the people who have in fact already paid for their funerals and in fact are expecting those burials to go ahead? Muzi is back again with us. Muzi, apologies for that technical gremlin, sadly out of our control, but one of the questions I did want to put to you as you were concluding your point there was, what about the families who've in fact already paid through some of their deposits, or in fact the full payment for a funeral to go ahead over the next 3 days, which is of course earmarked for the strike? Something like a burial or a death can't be planned or delayed, and so I imagine a plan at the very least has to be made for those individuals.
Fortunately for us, the strike is on a Monday till Wednesday, and most funerals will start on your Thursday on. So all the funerals from Thursday on will proceed as normal. Unfortunately for the funeral that was planned for Monday to Wednesday, it will not happen. Even the Muslim funerals will not take place. We have engaged the Muslim Burial Society, and they came in solidarity with us. They have sacrificed these 3 days so that the East industry is cleansed, and this East industry it becomes what it used to be before. Now it has become a playground of fraudsters who want to make a quick buck using the industry. We are saying no more to that. There's no situation that in the industry that we operate in, whereby politicians and government officials will come and conduct their corrupt activities using the industry. We are saying to the government, all we want is an ear. We have been saying this for far too long. Let me make an example very quickly. When it comes to cemeteries, there are no cemeteries in this country at all. Here in KZN in Durban, Mr. Ngobo, who's the head of parks, suggested that at a meeting, we still have minutes of those meetings. He suggested that because there's no space, we must go on top of the mountain and leave the bodies there for the birds to eat them. So how can a person who heads a department that is working with the community speak like that? He also suggested that we can go and bury in the sea. Yes, we do understand that in some countries they do sea burial, but we are Africans. We need graves. We have a situation whereby we are out of graves every week. When you go to cemeteries, you will find bones, you'll find skulls of people who were buried before, scattered at the cemeteries. We cannot take this anymore. The government must start now to respect people. They told us that we must encourage people to cremate. You have a crematorium laying unused in Chatsworth. It's been years. I'm telling you, maybe it's 8 years. It's been unused there. Yeah. They are just failing to fix it, but they are telling us to encourage people to cremate.
All right.